Let's talk about the power and the importance of persistence when manifesting your desire, especially when the 3D is showing you the evidence of the opposite. And sometimes it can be quite challenging to persist in something that you don't see evidence of, but that's more or less how manifestation works. Your manifestation has nothing to do with your current 3D circumstance, with your current 3D situation, and it has everything to do with what you are persisting in your mind. And in my last video, I said that you shouldn't give up on your manifestation. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why. And even though you don't need to understand why this works or how this works in order for it to work, you can simply just apply the methods, the techniques, and it will work the same way. But I find that sometimes, or quite often, when you understand why you're doing it and how it works, it becomes more encouraging to actually persist in it, which is going to be the important topic that I'm going to talk about in this video. Welcome to my channel. My name is Anna, and I'm a manifestation coach. On this channel, I teach the law of assumption as taught by Neville Goddard, while I also keep it simple and practical so that you can take it and apply it to your own manifestations right away. If that's what you were looking for, you are definitely in the right place. So please subscribe and stay for more. And if you happen to need any additional help with your manifestations, I do offer both one-on-one coaching and group coachings. The link actually is always in the description box below. It's always the same booking page. You find all the information there. If you have questions about it, let me know in the comments. So speaking of Neville Goddard, in this video, I'm going to mention a couple of quotes from Neville Goddard that I'm going to lean on to explain to you why you need to persist. Because when you are going through a 3D circumstance that is opposing your desire, what you don't want to do is to dwell on it. That was also the topic of my last video, which I'm going to link down below so you can check that out. And I explained to you how to get your head out of the 3D and back into your mind again. Because when you are dwelling on the 3D, that starts feeling real. But what you need to understand is that 3D circumstance was a manifestation of your mind anyway. So your mind had and has the power to manifest whatever mess you are going through. And therefore, your mind has the power to manifest a different outcome. And it's us humans who are judging things as difficult, big, small, etc. For your mind, it's all the same. It's simply about impressing a story on the subconscious, have your mind accept it as true through persistence and repetition so that it can push that out. Because your subconscious mind is not going to care whether your SP said that they don't love you, whether your SP is with a third party, whether you're physically struggling with some physical issues, or whether your financial situation is not what you want to be. Your subconscious mind is not going to take the 3D facts and say, oh, I can't manifest that because the economy is bad or whatever. Your subconscious mind is going to take true everything you tell it. So when you dwell on the 3D, that's what you tell it. But when you dwell on something else, that is what you tell it. So the reason you need to persist is the way that subconscious programming works. By the way, I have a video about that, which I'm also going to link in the description box below. It's all about programming your subconscious mind. Let me read a couple of quotes from Neville Goddard that I wanted to read and then explain to you based on that why it's important to persist. So the first one is one of the most famous ones. This is something that you need to live by as a conscious manifester. And it says, an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. And this is what I meant when I said your subconscious mind is not going to care whether you're telling it the 3D reality stuff or you're telling it something different that hasn't happened yet. It's going to take it in. And the worst thing you can do for your own manifestation is to go back and forth in your mind between dwelling on 3D situations, sometimes problems, sometimes it's quite dramatic what people are going through, sometimes it's not, it's just unwanted. Dwelling on that and then dwelling on your end goal, then going back and forth, it's going to create a lot of confusion for you because you are going to see some movement, then it goes back to 3D, then some movement, then it goes back to 3D. This drives people crazy, seriously. Therefore, you need to figure out a way to simply not dwell on it. And it's actually not as hard as people think. Dwelling on the 3D becomes a habit. The more you do it, the more your mind just goes there automatically. The hardest part is the first moment of pulling your mind out of the 3D and simply just imagining what you want or assuming what you want. And your mind is going to make your persistent assumption harden into fact. How? You don't care. And you can't know. No one knows how. Your mind will figure out the way. Don't dwell on the how. That is also something that can stress people out. I can't see how this is going to happen, so I'm just worried. Your subconscious mind is not judging you. It doesn't care that you're worried. It's just going to manifest more of what you dwell on. The next quote from Neville Goddard that I want to read goes like this. If you judge after appearances, you will continue to be enslaved by the evidence of your senses. This is also a quote that I love. If you judge after appearances means if you take the 3D, what appears to be the 3D, the physical circumstance, and you judge after that, so you claim that as true as facts, you are going to be enslaved by the evidence of your senses. So the 3D is going to keep you a slave to it, meaning the more you get your head into the 3D, so the more you dwell on it, the more you're going to manifest it, the more it's going to feel like it's real, it's a fact. It is real, the experience is real. It's not that it's not real, but it starts appearing and feeling like facts and fixed. Therefore, when you start pulling your attention away from your circumstances and you start on purpose thinking other thoughts, imagining other scenarios, that starts becoming true to your subconscious mind. And it has to manifest it because that's law. And why is it important to do it? A lot of people do this, do the work for some time, and then they don't see change and they give up because this doesn't work, or I'm not good at it, or this situation is unchangeable. There's no such thing. You need to persist until you have replaced one story with another. If you give up halfway, your mind is going to automatically go to the story that it is already familiar with, so the old story. And you don't want to do that. I have had a manifestation a few years ago where I was affirming. I think I might have mentioned this in another video. I was affirming and at first nothing happened. I kept affirming and it started moving. And I thought, oh, okay, done. I stopped affirming. The movement stopped. And then I thought, okay, I need to keep going. And I did this back and forth a few times until I actually persisted in it. This happens with me sometimes where I'm like, I know how to manifest this. I'll do it later. And then later never comes, of course, because manifestation happens now from this moment. So I started affirming again and things started moving in the 3D. And then again, I relaxed, stopped affirming, and it stopped. And back and forth like this until I actually persisted, until it just sticked. You have to persist until it sticks. Your experience is going to be different or the same. Like every manifestation is different. Even for me, my own manifestations, they are all different. But what is important is to persist until the old story doesn't come up. That is where you have made the change. And you will notice this. You will notice that, again, I remember the first time I noticed this. This was mind-blowing for me. I was affirming, and again, I genuinely don't remember what I was affirming. This was years ago. I was affirming, and I was in my mind imagining this outcome that I wanted. And what I was doing was literally persisting. And the way you persist is that you don't give in to the negative story. When the negative story comes up, you shush it and you turn your attention back to your desired end goal. So your affirmations, your inner activity. At some point, I noticed, and you will notice this, that my mind would bring up my affirmations instead of bring up the old scene or the old story. This is the first and absolutely necessary change that needs to happen on the inside. For your manifestation to happen on the outside, the change needs to happen on the inside. And your mind will also start bringing up stories and thoughts that are very much aligned with your end goal. Sometimes it's literally your affirmations. Other times it's other thoughts that are similar. If you don't persist, this won't happen. And this happens only because you have persisted so much that your mind has become familiar with this story. Now it starts accepting it as true. And when it starts accepting it as true, it has no other choice than to be expressed in the 3D reality, so literally manifestation. So this is the importance of persistence, because if you don't persist, it can't happen. And something I also want to suggest is to persist in the story, definitely, that's out of discussion, but also persist in the method that you choose to manifest with. So don't jump from doing one thing to the other thing, affirming this thing, then affirming that thing, changing the story, etc. Make sure that you repeat the same thing without it becoming either a chore or boring, but your mind needs repetition. And I am not a fan of doing a new thing every time. For example, you watch a video, that you figure out a new technique, then you do this. You leave what you have been doing and you do this. As long as your work is in your mind, that is where creation happens. So it's going to work. I am also going to link a video about techniques, how to know which techniques work, how to know if what you're doing works. So that's going to be a great help for you if you're new to this. But long story short, you need to persist in the story until it changes the programming of your mind, and also stick to your favorite method or methods. You don't need to just only affirm, even though that works. If you like doing several things, do that. But persistently, consistently, be consistent with it. Enjoy it. This doesn't have to be, it doesn't need to be, it's not supposed to be stressful or work or boring even, because it's supposed to get you into the state of your wish fulfilled, which is supposed to make you feel good. This is what it's all about, actually. And then, of course, it absolutely has to manifest in the 3D. We're not doing this mental work just for the sake of it. We're doing it because it manifests in the 3D, and then we are going to experience it, because that is the law. So keep this in mind. Keep in mind that what you are doing is going to give you results. Don't give up on your manifestation, and know that the work that you're doing is going to bring you results. So this was about persistence, and actually the importance of persistence, why you need to persist. And I am going to make a follow-up video for those of you who have a hard time focusing on your desired outcome because the 3D is showing you evidence of the opposite. So stay tuned for that. That video is going to just give you a new perspective and a tool and an exercise to apply the technique. Because again, just like I said in this video, if you don't apply it, it's not going to do anything. Nothing is going to happen if you don't do it. So if you think that I can't possibly think of my, for example, SP loving me when the 3D showing me that they are out there doing something else and they don't want me, or anything else that you're going through with your health, wealth, 3D is the opposite, so I can't focus on my affirmations, for example. That video is going to be specifically on affirmations and how to affirm in order to get it done, in order to be able to persist while the 3D is showing you all the opposite signs. And of course, that is going to help you with persistence. And once again, if you need any additional help with your manifestations, I do offer one-on-one coaching and group coaching, class coachings. The link is in the description box below. Have a beautiful day and see you in the next video.